What's up, everybody? It's CoachCrock coming back to you today with another exciting episode of Meeting of the Minds. Today we have former South Carolina pitcher Canaan Cropper on the show. Canaan, how you doing today, man?
Good. How are you? Great to be here.
Man, I'm doing great. I'm living the dream. Loving this opportunity to talk to you. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day. Talk a little bit about baseball.
Yeah. So my baseball career started early. My dad was a big baseball guy. He played down in South Florida, coming out of high school. So from a young age, I was in t-ball straight to the tournament teams, and then into showcase baseball with the Evo Showcanes, which opened the door for South Carolina. In that time, I was actually training some kids that were younger than me. My dad had a baseball facility as I was growing up, and I was around it all the time. And like I said, played for the Canes when I was 15. Started playing for the Canes and played with them for 2 summers before I played for the national team. My 17-year-old year, which is when I got the opportunity to get recruited by some high level schools, and South Carolina caught my interest, and just couldn't say no. They were coming off of back-to-back national championships, and Ray Tanner was the head coach at that time, and it was just a great opportunity for me. Got there, had Tommy John my freshman year, so I was under the knife. I had a medical red shirt my first year, and then got an opportunity to pitch out of the bullpen for 2 years at South Carolina. Ended up after my 2 years pitching there, I transferred to North Greenville. Finished out my career at North Greenville. Ended up staying in Greenville after I finished my school and my baseball career there, and now I'm just working in Greenville. So
Right, and so you're no longer really affiliated with the game, but you played it at such a high level. I'm going to attack you early because you've opened up something that you know we offer this, and we never get to talk about it on the podcast or anything else. But it's injuries. You had Tommy John surgery, and so when we get into mindset today, I wouldn't mind if you would kind of talk a little bit about that mental approach, because we have a series that deals with just that, coming off an injury and making it one of the best things you could ever do.
Yeah, it's a real struggle, and it's a sink or swim type deal. I mean, it's the two paths are either just dig yourself deep into this hole of depression and frustration, or really come out on the other side and use it as a plus. So yeah, I would say that was probably one of the it was a 12-month recovery period, and one of the most devastating 2 or 3 months of my life, followed up by the best 8 or 10 months of my life once I had that mindset switch. So yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's perfect right there. Mindset switch. You're kind of, I guess you would say, in your own self wallow. I mean, you're just kind of just wallowing around life like, oh, poor pitiful me.
Yeah.
I had to have arm surgery. My whole career is ruined. But then you realize, hey, I could be better than I ever was. When did that hit you?
Yeah, I would say I was probably about 2 or 3 months out of surgery, gaining weight. Just again, like you said, wallowing. Just kind of frustrated with myself, frustrated with the fact that there was a big opportunity for me to come in as a freshman and pitch. All to I'm kind of like, I'm mad at God. I'm mad at everything. I'm just frustrated. I'm like, hey, what is going on? Like, I'm supposed to come in, and my dream finally happened. I get to a D1 school, and everything kind of feels stripped away from me. And it was a combination of a few things. Well, actually, one of the things that really hit me was one of my teammates at the time. He was a senior, just a real great guy. But he came to me one day. He's like, "Crop, you looking big? Like, you looking heavy? Like you."
He called you fat.
Yeah, he called me fat. He called me out, and that hit a switch. And it was over the course of the next 6 months, I lost like 30 pounds. I was just working out 2 or 3 times a day. I just was on my grind, and it really just like that comment of like, dude, you're fat. Like it was
Did you feel
exactly what
fat? Was it something that you knew was there, or were you
I
hiding from
mean.
it?
No, I knew it was there. I mean, looking back and where I was at, and then what I got to, I was like, yeah, I was letting myself go because I was just, you know, poor, like you said, poor me. And it was that comment that really, that flip went off, that switch went off, and I was just full bore. I mean, morning, night workouts with practice in between, and just, you know, it was nonstop, go, go, go. And that, I mean, I felt the best I ever did in my life. It was the most fun I ever had in my life. I took the bull by the horns and was really able to, just enjoy what I had there with the facilities, what I had there with being able to go out on the field every day. I was rehabbing, so I wasn't, necessarily in the dugout throughout the season, every game, but for home games, I was able to. And so it was really just, it was that comment that got me going.
So, man, I could go so many ways with this. Have you thanked the guy for that?
I have. He came to me about, I guess it was 2 or 3 months in to me just training like a dog. And he said, Crop, he's like, I want to apologize. I shouldn't have called you out like that. But he goes, man, you have really turned it on. Like, and I was like, man, you don't have to apologize. Like, I was, and you were spot on, and you helped me really, get to where I'm at now in this mindset of, I can't sit here and think about all the negatives. Like, I got to take advantage of what I have here and the opportunity I have in the years to come, versus just being, frustrated and concerned about the fact that I don't feel great and I can't throw, and all the things that come with a serious injury where you're looking at, 12 to 15 months of recovery. It seems like a lifetime as a freshman in college. And really, once I did, those first 2 months felt like 5 years. And then once I hit that switch, it was like time was flying by because I was just all day, every day, just go mode.
The process of going through something devastating like that, it's almost like, you use it like PTSD or death, man. As soon as it hits, it's hard to get over it. You have to work on it. And we all have it in us to take that step and do it ourselves. But sometimes, we don't want to do it, but with that one comment that kid made, it stuck with you. It sparked a fire in your ass, and you took off and turned it around. Were you when you got to that point where you're back in the game now, were you better than you were before?
Yeah, I was definitely better. That training that I did over the course of, those 8 or 9 months, really just, I mean, the mental side of training is also a thing. Being able to get yourself in the gym every day, being able to just hit that next gear, being able to push through heavyweight, hard workouts, all that stuff. So that, period of struggle, I guess, or period of training really, push my game to the next level, from a sense of competition, just appreciating the game, being able to be on the field after not for 15 months and then being back. I played every single game, every practice, like it was my last after that, because it was like from the time I was a kid until I got to surgery, I hadn't taken 2 months off of baseball my whole life. So It was like it being stripped away from me for that long. It was just that aha moment of like, man, this is something that I got to take advantage of. I really got to start treating every game like it's my last, because at any point this can be stripped from me. So yeah, it definitely that switch was flipped on as well on the field once I finished that period of time of recovery.
And every baseball player in the country, if not the world, can say the same thing you just said. Like, it was stripped from you, talking about COVID.
Yeah.
You would think when we get baseball going again, it's almost like 9/11 after that the stands are packed, but it's hard to believe it will be like that. Yeah. People playing with that passion. Are you seeing that? Have you checked out any ball lately?
I think that these guys are so ready to, get back on the field. I think it is difficult when there's nobody in the stands, nobody to have that home field advantage of the crowd just going nuts, pitch one. I think that it's going to be difficult, but I also think these guys have been working extra hard, knowing that there is a shorter season, a ton on the line. I saw something from Garrett Cole. He made a comment the other day. He's like, there's only going to be one 2020 COVID-19 World Series champion. Why not that be me? So he's thinking of it that way of like, hey, this is probably a once in a lifetime thing where I can win the COVID-19 World Series. So I hope that that's kind of ringing true across the sport, because I know it is tough. Year after year after these guys have played in front of these big crowds and gotten to the World Series where it's a sold out crowd. Like, that's
it's hard to play a game with no crowd. I mean,
that can't be done by some speakers going playing a crowd noise.
It's an energy you can't simulate. I mean, you have to have the energy of all the people there.
There's no way.
Oh man, let's just hope that that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Here in North Carolina, we're still waiting back from our governor just to say something about school. We haven't been able to do anything with our athletes, and it's killing me. I want to get back to it and see those kids and work with them. So anytime that happens, it'd be great. So let's put a number on it. Baseball, percent mental. What would you say?
I would say 65 to 70%. I would say it is a huge chunk. The physical aspect of the game, the mechanics of the game, can really push you to that next level and I guess get you in the door. I would say, they say like for pitchers, velocity gets you in the door, but your pitch ability, is where the years rack up and where you stay in the game for a long time. And I think the mental side of the game is just, if you don't have it, it will just crush you. It's such a game of failure. These guys that are hitting 275, 300, it's considered a decent, good year. And I mean, that's literally failing 7 out of 10 times coming to the plate. So that there's just no way without the mental strength that you're lasting 165 games. I mean, you can't do it. There's no way.
It's a grind, man.
Yeah.
It's a grind. Let's talk about pitcher's mindset since you pitched.
Yeah.
I think that's a different mindset than any other ball player. Would you agree with that?
I would. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, you visualizing before each pitch, the night before, you deep breathing, during the game. Do you have a reset button? What do you got?
Yeah, I think the breathing is huge. Just being able to relax, being able to improve the patience. I mean, the ability to just focus on your breathing and not sit here and think, oh, well, I got to get my arm a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. I got to get, overthinking mechanics can also, especially mid-outing, destroy you. That's work for the bullpen. But when you're in the mound on the game, you have to limit, what you're doing up there. And a lot of that comes with like you said, the imagery is huge. My approach this pitch is I'm painting one on the outside corner black, and that's, I'm throwing my best pitch right here. And then you miss high and in, and it's not crap. What did I do? How am I, why did I miss that pitch? It's same mindset. Okay. Same imagery of me finishing, painting the next pitch on the outside black. I have kids that I, work with now and train with, and it's the self-talk is huge as a pitcher, because the moment that negative thought slips in and, that guy's walked, okay, well, I hope I don't walk this guy too. You're walking on eggshells, or you are locked back in. Every pitch is your best pitch. I don't care if I'm 2-2 or 0-2. This is my best slider. I don't care if I'm 3-2 with the bases loaded or nobody on, nobody out, 0-0 count. Like, this is my best fastball, middle in. I mean, it's a
consistent thought process.
Yeah, it's a consistent. It's like the self-talk can't stop. And it has to just be, I'm locked in every pitch. This is my best pitch. I'm in attack mode at all times, whether it's the 3-hitter or the 9-hitter. I'm
All
just
right.
attack, attack, attack.
And it's so easy to say. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but okay, let's put you in a situation now. The negative self-talk slips in. The umpire screwed you. How you handling that?
Yeah. You have to step off and flush it. As difficult as that is, sometimes you just have to flush it. And you
He
can
makes
control,
mistakes too.
yeah, you can
He's
control
human.
what you can control. You lose a game because the umpire's bad call. Sucks to suck. Life's gonna go on, and you're gonna play another game. You're playing in 2 days or you're playing in 2 hours. I don't know, but you gotta flush it, and you gotta be just as good, regardless of his mistake. You got to be just as good your next pitch. You got to be just as good your next outing. You got to keep playing. And the best way to keep playing is with completely flushing that, forgetting it, letting it go. You can't control it. You can't control the call he's going to make. So just being able to flush that and lock in on your next pitch, and it be just as good as your last.
All right. So I want to go back. You said the exact word, you paint into black on the outside corner. All right. So when you use this visualization or this imagery that you're using, can you actually see the ball hitting the black? Can you see the colors? Or, I mean, are you just saying it?
I would say
could be both.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when I'm on the mound, I'm visualizing the catcher receiving the ball outside, barely hitting, barely skimming the plate, and he's got a low and away target, and I'm just, center of the mitt, and it's right exactly where I want it to be. I guess the imagery there is just I can see it crossing the plate exactly where I want it to go. He's setting up, and he doesn't even have to move. He doesn't have to fly. All he has to do is squeeze his mitt. It's right there.
Good. Yeah. That's good. I mean, some people, this is me personally. I mean, I can't talk for other people, but I can say it all I want and I can hear it, but I really can't see it happening. Yeah. But I continue to say it, so it does happen when I'm trying to.
Well, and that's huge. Like that. Yeah, that's huge. The self-talk and that inner trust. I mean, as much as you can, like you said, some people are going to be able to say, okay, I can see that, I'm going to do it. Some other people are going to say, like, well, I can't see it, but I'm going to say it over and over and over to myself until it's true. And those bullpen reps and those cage reps and all that stuff is so key to also be thinking those same things, so that when you get in the game, it's not the first time you're self-talk. It's not the first time your inner trust kicks in. It's not the first time. Like, put yourself in a situation. I have my guys, after they get loose and, throw 10, 15, 20 pitches, I say, okay, there's a batter up. You got a 2-2 count. Bases are loaded. Throw a slider. Like, putting that pressure on them. They miss. It's now, okay, it's 3-2. You're throwing your best pitch, lock in, game's on the line. You're putting that pressure on them, but you're also, and then you're kind of coaching them on how to approach this situation while also giving them keys or cues. And then you say, okay, tell yourself this. Tell yourself, I'm hitting this outside corner right here, spot up, perfect pitch, go. And then they're telling themselves that, whether they do it or not, they have to figure out what switch, what I say or what they tell themselves or what works for them and what flip they need to switch in game. But if you're doing those reps in the cage, then they're building up reps, those mental reps that are so key. So when you're, like I said, when you're in the game, that's not the first time you're like, crap, okay, I think I'm supposed to talk to myself here positively.
Right. And kids don't know this. And I refer to this a lot. And if people who are actually followers or fans of this, then they know this. But Jacob Casper, All-American Duke wrestler, he said we're like the cheat code. We take the work of these processes out. some people don't know you can do these things to just clear your mind and maybe even, anchor yourself in a direction of, doing good things instead of when those negative thoughts slip in your head, you start doing one of our anchors and bam, you're back to the present moment. It's just like that reset button, the flushing it. That's good stuff, but you have to get the mental reps. So I love what you reaffirm the fact of what we talk about, and that is you have to practice this thing every day. Yeah. Mental self-talk that's positive. It's so important.
Well, I mean, it's just important for a middle infielder to take hundreds and thousands of ground balls as it is for him to, when he makes the error, be able to reset, flush, and make the next play. I mean,
right.
It's the physical is just as important as the mental.
No doubt. So we talked a lot about. Excuse me. Do you have something else?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So we talked a lot about the positive self-talk and imagery. I feel like I hear my kid crying. That could be bad. Should I ignore it? They'll come out here and get me if they need me. Do you hear that?
I heard a little something, yeah.
This mic is pretty powerful. It's picking up everything. Anyway, this is edited out. So the physical part now.
Maddox fell off.
He fell.
Big monster truck.
Okay, I got to go check this. Will you mind? Hold on a second. Think about this one. The physical part, like when you made a mistake and you couldn't get that negative thing out of your head, did you touch yourself? Did you slap yourself? Is there something physical you did to hit the reset button? And if you want to talk about that right now, you can, but I'll come back and I want to get that.
Okay.
Hey, you okay? That's why I love boys right there.
Yeah, they're right back to it.
He's good. I mean, he's back on his monster truck. He cried a little bit. It hurt. Shake it off, baby. Rub some dirt on it. He had a reset button, right?
I love it. Love it.
That's what we're talking about, reset button. So what do you think? Was there something physical you would do?
So I've seen, one of the things was just a lot of guys were superstitious. A lot of guys had rituals. But I think past the fact that it was a physical thing. So I've seen guys rub dirt on their hands. I've seen guys strap their left batting glove 3 times before they step in the box. I've seen guys,
like no ma,
grab their hat. Mine was I would take my hat off, like wipe my brow, fix my hair, throw my hat back on. I'm reset. I'm locked back in.
Take a deep breath and throw it in there.
Just into the nose, out to the mouth. Just huge breath. But that is not magically going to make me throw a strike, but that is locking.
All right, I lost you for a sec.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call.
It's okay. It says you're locked. You said you're locking in.
Yeah, so I'm just locking right back in. Doing this physical thing has this mental effect because it's my go-to. When I do it, I know I'm confident. My confidence is back up. My swagger is back up. I'm doing this thing as a ritual, but also as knowing after this happens, good things happen. It may not happen every time, but it's locking me back in. I'm boosting my confidence just by doing this. I mean, I had guys that would only eat Subway on game day because they're like, it's been working.
We played that game just yesterday, I believe, with Carter. What's the craziest ritual? You said Subway. You probably got something crazier than that. Craziest ritual on baseball you ever seen?
Oh gosh.
And this is a mental thing too, because when you're doing a ritual, you hadn't changed your underwear for 5 straight games or something. You really think that's working? It's a mental thing.
I won't name any names, but a guy I played with, he truly 100% believed that if he didn't drink the night before the game, that he wasn't going to play well. And I mean, for about 6 months it worked, and then it just kind of fell apart. But for a period of time, he was on fire, and he was like, if there's not multiple drinks before game night, I'm not playing well.
And he probably, when he didn't have a good streak there, he probably continued to drink
even more
and never came back.
Exactly.
Well, we hope not. Man, that's good, man. This has been great. I mean, I feel like it's pretty quick. We went some different directions than typical, and I like that. If there's one Well, let me go back to this. You talked about it. These people do these things physically. We teach it. Like we say, okay, write a list, and it's power in the pen. So you have to write down the things that you are really confident at, you're really good at school, sport, and life, not just sport. Because we want to build virtue through our sport. We want to make these kids good kids, right? And so you write all these things down, and then you anchor yourself to these things. All right, I made straight A's. I hit 300. I struck out 20 batters. Whatever things you wrote down, and then you do these physical things when you know that negative self-talk comes in. When you get that feeling in your stomach that things are going to go wrong, we turn that and we make you use that instead of lose it, because ultimately it's pretty much fight or flight. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that, and I think putting the pen to the paper is huge. Being able to affirm yourself by writing it down that this is positive. I mean, it is so, I don't know the statistics, but I know it's extremely hard to get a negative thought out of your head, and the positives don't last as long. So writing it down and having it, on your door, or, reading it before you start your day, or, whatever it may be, for whatever works for you. But I think it's so key to not only having a successful sports career, but also just being successful across the board. It's just that positivity, especially, in the world we live in. There's so many forces pulling you. The media is pulling you. The social media is pulling you. The news outlets are pulling you. And it seems like what sells is the negativity, like what negative things are going on in our world. And so it's like turning to that positivity to start your day, to get you going through get you through when that negative self-talk sneaks in, all those things. I mean, I think it's huge to have it down on paper, because, I mean, you think a negative thought, you don't have it written down, or, haven't reminded yourself in a while, you're not getting out of that for at least 24 hours. I mean, at best.
Yeah, we are our own humans. All humans are our own worst enemy, and we have a tendency to replay the negative things that happen in our life over and over and over again. And we can't break that cycle. Well, we can. We choose not to.
Yeah.
We like to be tied to the past because it ultimately makes us what? Comfortable, right?
Yeah.
We want to be uncomfortable in everything we do. Like, you got to work out. You got to put some time into this, put time into that. Don't have that free time, man. You need to be calculated. Use your time wisely. Those are things that we love to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things I've also seen as a benefit is, as a kid starts to, you start to see him losing faith. You start 2 or 3 bad reps. You ask them, hey, what are you feeling? What are you feeling your body doing? And just them expressing how they're feeling just leads to success, because they're, whether they're sharing, well, I don't know, I really can't feel why am I doing, it's like they start to think how they're feeling, and it's typically negative, and then just them expressing it and kind of exposing their negativity, you fill that with a positive thought, and now they're locked right back in. So the same kind of thing with the pen and paper, but just expressing that negativity, I think, is huge, because we want to bottle it up and not expose ourselves and how we're thinking negatively, or the negative stuff that we're thinking about. And I think it's key just to get it out, blurt it out.
It makes us vulnerable. Nobody wants to talk about how crappy they feel. I mean,
no, 100%.
They just want to keep that to themselves. But, actually, if you tell somebody how crappy you're feeling and then express why you're feeling that crappy, then you might feel a bit better about yourself.
Yeah, definitely feel way better.
But if unless you don't have you're still talking the negative stuff. Oh, well, this is never going to change. Well, of course it's not. You just said that. Right. Well, look, if there's anything we can do for you, man, I know you're still connected in the game. Shoot people our way if you see someone that struggles mentally, internally with processes, that we can help them. I promise you. I'm looking forward to Baseball Mindset really taking a strong hold on the mental side of baseball. I mean, we want to be number one. So if you can help us spread that, I would appreciate it. And if there's anything I could do for you, please let me know.
Well, thank you so much. And I'll definitely send some guys your way. I'm thinking of a few right now that just it's a huge help to everybody. But I'm thinking of a few right now that it's the difference in them playing big time or them being done in the next few years. So.
Yep. And it starts as early. We've got them in middle school, which sometimes it's like, when I'm first starting this, I'm like, okay. But if you think long term, which you should, you get to see this kid develop. And then if you've had a real integral part in putting some processes into place to get him successful, that's big. So it excites me. And hopefully one day I can retire from teaching and not have to worry about all the political drama of the world.
Yeah. I hope that for you as well.
Yeah, tell me about it. Look, I appreciate your time, man. And I'm going to hit the end record button and then we'll chat for a couple more minutes. How about that?
Great.
All right. Canaan, I'm out. Man, Canaan Cropper, what a great interview, man. I wasn't expecting it to go in that direction. I'm glad it did, because I think that there's power in knowing that baseball mindset can even help you. A little cheesy there, but it can even help you come back from injury. You can take that approach like Canaan did for the first 2 months of your life and never get over it. Some people can't get over it. It took a comment to spark him, to get him into predator mode, is what we're going to call it. He had all these prey thoughts that were controlling his life, and the predator thought came in when somebody challenged him. It challenged his manhood. He got put on fight or flight, believe it or not, and he took the next 30 days and made it crunch time, and then he's pitching collegiately again, and you know, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to him. You got to look at things that way. I loved it. I love this conversation. If you're having trouble with injuries and recovering from them, please hit us up. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Winning Mindset's got a YouTube page. Baseball Mindset's featured up there all the time. You can see these great interviews with these great college coaches, these unbelievable athletes that I've had such a fortunate opportunity over the last 2 or 3 months. That's my blessing from COVID. It keeps me sane. I'm able to talk to these superhuman athletes and coaches that are showing and telling people that there are good things out there that's happening, guys. Everything doesn't have to be so negative. So get your mind right. Get your mind in the game. Get your head in the game. You want to know why? It's real simple. If you don't want to do it for you, like Canaan said, he had to have somebody talk crap to him. I'll say this. Do it because of this. Because Coach Crock said so.